Guys, it has been 27 years since Tupac Shakur was murdered. And finally, today, there's been an indictment. Now, as America's attorney, I feel like I owe you an explanation for exactly what are we getting into here. Because if you followed any murder trials in the past or watched any murder convictions, you know that one of the most important things is forensic evidence. And when I talk about forensic evidence, what I'm talking about is gunshot residue, tying a certain bullet to a certain gun, tying a gun to ownership of a certain person, putting that gun in the hand of a specific killer. Well, it's been 27 years, and Duane Davis, today indicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur, is not going to have that kind of forensic evidence in his trial. I promise you that. You guys already know that back on July 17th, police executed a search warrant at Duane Davis's house where they were trying to get certain records that would have tied him to the scene of the crime. This was not some sort of random thing. Look, Davis wrote a book in which he described being in the car where the bullets came from. But police went to his house on July 17th. They got a USB drive, they got some computer records. Strangely, they got photographs, which I guess this is from the 90s and people still like ordered their photographs from Walgreens and got them printed. I don't know, but they got all this stuff. Now, that's been over 2 months. Was there gunshot residue on this stuff? Of course not. Here's the deal. Davis is a big shot, or he wants people to think he's a big shot. He can't help himself. He has to tell people he was there. He was there when it happened. But he's never said, oh, like I was involved in it in any ways. Just I happened to be in the car where the bullets came from that killed Tupac. And I guess he thought this was a way that he could get some clout and also get away with it. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the theory that law enforcement would be going with in order to indict Davis literally just a couple weeks more than 27 years after the shooting? And here it is. They believe that he orchestrated the killing. Now, there is not forensic evidence around the orchestration of a killing. There was hardly email back in 1996. They're thinking that they have evidence that would convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that he was actually involved in planning the killing of Tupac Shakur, so that it wasn't some sort of random drive-by, which I don't think anyone with half a brain would ever think that when a celebrity is killed, it's random, because it's almost never random. You have to think about Occam's razor, and what's the simplest explanation? Look, at the time that he was murdered, he was at the top of the charts, or maybe like fifth in the charts. But I'm telling you, he was a celebrity. He was balling out in September of 1996. If they have evidence after the fact of Davis telling other people that he ordered the hit, that he arranged for it to happen, that's something that they can get a conviction with. But it's not as simple as it might seem, and here's why. The standard in a criminal trial, as you know, is beyond a reasonable doubt. If there is something that he wrote that is susceptible to multiple interpretations, prosecutors are going to have a hard time meeting the bar of beyond a reasonable doubt. For them to indict, in my opinion, they either have to have one of two things. First of all, they have to have someone else who actually pins Davis to the commission of this crime in the way that law enforcement is saying at trial that it went down. And if they have that, they have to have some corroboration, just because the bare statements of a co-conspirator are not enough. Number two, they have to have an unequivocal admission by him that he was involved with it. Now, a fascinating thing is to think back to what I said earlier, which is that he wrote a book in which he said he was in the vehicle. If he has communication in writing in any way with either an editor or producer or publisher or someone involved in the creation of that book, in which, in a non-blustery, non-BS sort of way, he takes credit for the killing, that could be the thing that takes him down. We don't know yet. This story is so fresh that Davis hasn't even yet appeared in court. We don't know what his bail is going to be set at, if he's going to get bail, or if he's going to be held in jail prior to the trial. Now, in most cases, if you have allegedly murdered someone, they don't let you roam the streets before trial. They keep you in jail. And I would expect that we would see that's where Davis is, or that the bail is set really, really high. If he is not out on bail, which I don't think he will be, he has 9 months to go to trial. So it's September now. We really could be in trial by next June 2024. And let's see, what evidence does the prosecutor have? What defenses does Davis have? And how is this all going to play out? Again, if you're talking about first-degree murder, a planned execution of another human being, there's not a lot of wiggle room for a plea. I mean, you're going to have to plead to murder, and you're going to have to spend the rest of your life in jail if you're already 60 years old, which is what he is now. We've got some time, but we don't have forever. On the other hand, Davis's team can ask for continuances, they can ask for extensions, and there's a chance it doesn't go to trial in June of 2024 or before, but it probably will. Now, Tupac has been dominating our culture here in the US for 28, 29 years. What I would like to know right now, down in the comments, is who do you think did it? And if it wasn't Davis, tell me how you know who it was. And don't you dare tell me that Tupac Shakur is still alive. I don't want to hear it. You know what I do want? I do want you to smash the subscribe button and then check out these other videos, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.